Hello everyone, this is Naoki from Australia. Today's video will be so new and so helpful to everyone. Not IELTS, not OET, anyone who wants to get permanent residency or nursing registration in Australia. This exam called PTE is the exam you must take right now. So, in order to get a permanent residency or nursing registration in Australia, you cannot escape from getting IELTS 7 or the equivalent scores in other exams. I wonder how many people have given up on this because it is impossible to get IELTS 7 or the equivalent scores. In my time, I took OET exam, an exam made for medical professionals to prove IELTS 7, and I also took PTE, a computer-based exam to prove IELTS 8. So, have any of you heard about PTE before? I have recommended it to a number of people so far, but no one seems to know much about it, and it appears it's not prevalent in Japan yet. This is just a big question to me. Why people don't take PTE for their English requirements, even though this exam is much easier than any other exams that I know. So I started trying PTE on my own when I needed IELTS 8 or the equivalent scores in the other exams. However, I could not get the targeted score despite being almost there. So I decided to go to this school called Dream English for a coaching session, and I finally smashed the targeted score. With all the tips and strategies, I can confidently say IELTS 7 is not a dream score to anyone anymore. So, in this video, I've asked Alex, the most friendly guy from Dream English, to guide you guys learn what PTE is and so on. And I am hoping at the end of this video, all the nurses and who are not even nurses here will have better idea what PTE is. Please enjoy my video.
Hey there, this is Alex. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm so happy to be part of Naoki's video to give you guys a bit of an idea what is the PTE academic exam, Pearson test of English, and how it compares to IELTS, and which one you should pick, especially if you're planning to get the 7 bands or even 8 band. So let me give you a bit of a background, who I am, what we do, and what is the experience I'm going to share with you and how that's going to help you out. So those of you who've never seen me anywhere around the internet, I'm Alex, so I'm part of Dream English and Visa Consultancy. We basically help overseas students, people who want to apply to uni, people who want to settle in Australia, basically get their English score in the fastest and easiest way possible. Now, that's a huge task for a lot of people who don't speak English as their first language. The test is really intimidating, and a lot of people have the wrong misconception that they need to study English, they need to improve their grammar, they need to do all of these different things just to pass the test. And they often waste 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and they never feel quite ready because they're intimidated by IELTS. Let me ask you this. How many people have you seen online or out of your group of friends who scored IELTS 7 in all of the sections, including the writing? Maybe 1, maybe 2. Okay. Now, how many friends do you have that scored IELTS 8, right? Pretty much nobody. So scoring IELTS 8 is very difficult. And I'll give you an example. This is my score right here in PTE Academic. And as you can see, 90 is the maximum score that you can get. And this is me giving the IELTS test for the first time. Now look at my score. I was barely able to get IELTS 8 being an English trainer for more than 8 years. If I had to do this test in another language, it would be nearly impossible for me to ever get such a high score.
I find it near impossible.
How are you supposed to get this high score? Well, it's quite unrealistic. The good thing is that PTE test is way easier compared to IELTS.
Easy.
And I'll explain to you exactly what you need to do in order to get a good score. The thing is, it's completely different. Very different. I'll give you some examples. In IELTS, the speaking is dealt with the interviewer. They ask you questions, you give the answer, right? And if you feel shy, if you feel nervous, if you feel very awkward talking to other people in another language, you're going to get stuck, you're going to get nervous. Now, in PTE, every single thing, including the speaking, is done on the computer. So you're not talking to any human being at all. And the reason why people are getting such a high mark in PTE in speaking, for example, most of our students get 90 out of 90 in speaking because you can use templates. You can memorize a format, which is 4 to 5 sentences, and you keep repeating the same format again and again and again, and you just need to add a couple content words for the computer to give you marks. Your answer doesn't need to make logical sense. Whereas if you compare this to IELTS, if you say something that doesn't make any sense, the examiner is going to give you a low point, right? Let's take another example, writing. Everybody hates writing in IELTS because it's checked by a human being. So a human being knows when your essay is really good or it's not good enough. In PTE, every single thing is done on the computer. You memorize a template, you practice typing it every day so you get very fast at it, and then 70 to 80% of your answer comes from the template. You just need to add 4 to 5 sentences by yourself only. Okay, so this is the second huge difference, and it's way easier. So that's why a lot of people here get not only 7 bands equivalent, which is 65 in PTE. In writing, they also get 79. They even get 90 out of 90. And here's the final reason why so many people are getting much better scores in PTE. Every single section is connected. It's together. But let's see, for example, in IELTS, you struggle in your reading. What are you going to do? You're going to practice different exercises. You're going to improve your vocabulary. You're going to improve your grammar. You're going to try to read books in English and magazines in English. And it may take you 1 year and you just improve from 6 to 6.5. And it's so frustrating. In PTE, let's say your reading is terrible. Almost half of all your reading marks come from the other sections that are not actually from reading. You get a lot of marks in reading from your speaking, where you just need to read 2-3 sentences to the computer, which anybody can do, right? Then you have reading points that come from your writing, and you have reading points that come from your listening. So the fantastic thing is, if you're really struggling in one skill, like writing, like reading, you can make it up by doing well in the sections that you're already good at. Next reason why so many people find PTE easier. There are a lot of practice websites. There are different practice platforms. For example, we have our own that have repeated PTE test questions. Meaning whenever you practice in IELTS, even if you practice recent questions, it's very difficult to get repeated questions in the test. Whereas in PTE, a lot more questions come repeated. So the more you practice on different websites and the more mock tests you do, the higher the chance that many of these questions will come repeated in your test. Let's say you are doing one of the very important tasks and you're supposed to have 3 questions. Imagine if 2 of those questions came from the practice questions that you did 1 week before, or sometimes 3 out of 3. So it's way easier and you get more confidence compared to IELTS. And let's say that something happens, you didn't get a good score. Well, the good thing is the result comes out after 2 days only maximum. And quite often, it actually comes out the same day. So let's say you didn't do so well, but you know you could do better. You can book another test 5 days later and sit for PTE again and get your result again. You get instant feedback. And before I wrap up, let me give you some advice. If you're still deciding, you don't know this PTE, you don't know what to do about it, let me give you some suggestions how you can start and test yourself totally free and see which one would be easier for you. I will attach some links and I will share them with you as well, and for Naoki to put in his video at the bottom with a video that explains an overview about PTE. So it's from one of my team members. Watch that video, it's only 10 minutes. Then go on any website. I can send you guys a link and you can find a link in the description to our website, or you can go to the official PTE website. As long as you have a good headphone, you could pay $20, $30 and you can buy a mock test and you can try it on your own. So get an idea of how the test works. You can practice some questions online. You can watch some YouTube videos. I can share some links with free materials as well. Go do a mock test. And you will see that if you have a couple days preparation, you can get a very good score in PTE that you wouldn't really expect to get. Now, let's say the score is not so good. Feel free to share it with us. Feel free to share it with Naoki, and we can give you some advice where exactly you're lacking, how you need to fix it. But as long as you focus on just a couple questions in PTE, which is being very fluent and speaking nonstop in your speaking, okay? Doing your read aloud really well, where you have to read the text, working on repeat sentences where you have to repeat a sentence to the computer, practicing fill in the blanks in the reading section, and write from dictation and listening. If you focus on those 4 things, you will score very high in PTE, and that's a skill that you can improve very quickly and improve your score much faster. The last things I wanna share with you guys before you go and before you try this on your own is there are people who have a level of English which is way, way, way worse than you watching this video. If you're watching this video and you can understand every single thing I'm saying, that means your level is much better than a lot of the students I get, but they are able to get much higher score in PTE compared to maybe you struggling with IELTS or thinking of taking IELTS or thinking of taking OET. And it's not only because your English level, because of how smart you are or how many words you know, it's 60% your English, but the other 40% is actually knowing the techniques and the strategies. And again, Naoki is a great example that when he came to us, he was struggling to get IELTS 8 equivalent. So he got IELTS 7 equivalent in PTE quite easily. But IELTS 8 was very hard. And after a couple of weeks of preparation, he got more than IELTS 8 in each section. So again, if you are planning to become a nurse, you're planning to study, you're planning to get permanent residency, the English test is one of the biggest hurdles in your way. So make sure to choose an easier option. And for us personally, we've taught OET, we've taught IELTS, we're teaching PTE now mostly. And the day that there's another English test, which is way easier, we're going to switch to that other English test. But for now, most people find PTE way easier. You can go on Google, you can search all the different results, and make sure to check in the description and the comments of this video. The pinned comment, we will provide you guys with some free links and resources and ways you can get started to prepare. And of course, if you need any classes, feel free to send us a message as well. We're happy to advise you based on your score and based on your previous results as well. So again, this is Alex from Dream English and Visa Consultancy. Good luck with your journey, and I hope it's a very smooth and easy one. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Alex, again for sharing a comprehensive overview on PTE. It was great. It is going to be a life-changing exam for those who are planning to come to Australia in the future, for sure. And PTE is also accepted in the UK and New Zealand, so please check it out. I really hope this video gave an idea on what PTE is to as many people as possible here, and will potentially help change someone's life in the future. At last, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me through the comment below or through my Instagram. Also, if you would like to take a coaching session with Alex from Dream English, please also message me directly to my Instagram. I have a special code for you for a discount. Alright guys, thank you for watching my video again and giving me all the support as usual. I'll see you in the next video. Honestly, I feel like I've run out of all the topics I can do, but if you guys have any, topics or anything that you want me to talk about, please leave a comment below as well. Thank you very much. Bye!